She apologizes again. Her voice is soft, almost pleading. She tells you she's sorry. Again. She promises that things will be different this time. That she never meant to hurt you. That she sees her mistakes now and she's ready to change. For a brief moment, you feel yourself wanting to believe her. Maybe this time is real. Maybe, just maybe, she finally understands how much her actions have affected you. But deep down, beneath the hopeful thoughts, there's a truth you can't ignore. You've heard all of this before, the same words, the same promises, and yet nothing ever changes. The cycle always repeats. The same disappointments, the same frustration, the same realization that you let yourself fall for it once more. But this isn't just about her. This is about you, about the respect you have for yourself, about the standards you choose to uphold, about whether you will continue allowing empty words to deceive you when her actions tell you everything you need to know. Throughout history, men have been tested in this way. The question remains the same. Will you be ruled by your emotions, swayed by sweet words, and caught in a cycle of manipulation? Or will you stand firm, grounded in your values, unshaken in your self-worth, and unwilling to tolerate anything less than what you truly deserve? If you're tired of apologies that mean nothing, if you're ready to take back your power and break free from this exhausting cycle, then this video is for you. By the time you finish watching, you'll know exactly how to handle situations like this, and more importantly, how to move forward without looking back. Let's get started. 1. Why do men keep falling for her apologies? Men keep falling for apologies because at their core, they are wired to hope. Hope is one of the most powerful forces in a man's life. It's what pushes him forward in the face of adversity. It's what makes him strive for more, endure challenges, and believe in the possibility of change. But hope, when misplaced, is also a man's greatest weakness. You want to believe that if she says she'll change, she really means it. You want to believe that love, patience, and understanding will fix the problems, that if you just wait a little longer, if you just put in a little more effort, things will finally be different. That deep down she's a good person and she just needs time to grow. This kind of thinking is what keeps men trapped in toxic cycles. Here's the truth. Words are cheap. Anyone can say, "I'm sorry." Anyone can make promises, but not everyone has the character to back those words up with real, consistent action. A woman's character is not defined by what she says when she's emotional or when she's afraid of losing you. It's defined by what she does when she thinks you aren't paying attention. Does she actually make an effort to change her behavior, or does she just say what she knows you want to hear? Does she genuinely take responsibility for her mistakes, or does she just give you an apology so you'll stop being upset? Pay attention to patterns, not words. This isn't just about her. This is about you. About your ability to see reality for what it is, instead of what you wish it could be. The trap of rationalizing her behavior. When a woman repeatedly apologizes but never changes, she is showing you exactly who she is. And yet many men refuse to see it. Instead, they rationalize. They tell themselves, "She didn't mean to do it. She's just going through a rough time. If I just give her more love, more patience, more support, she'll finally see how much I care and change for me." But all of these thoughts are just excuses, a way to avoid facing the hard truth. A sincere apology is always followed by consistent action. Think about it. If you were truly sorry for hurting someone, wouldn't you do everything in your power to make sure it never happened again? Wouldn't you reflect on your behavior, take accountability, and actively work to be better? So if she keeps making the same mistakes over and over again, then she isn't actually sorry. She's just saying what she knows will keep you around. And if you keep believing empty words, you are choosing to live in an illusion instead of reality. Why do men keep falling for it? It's not just about hope. It's also about fear. Men fall for false apologies because they are afraid of losing her, afraid of being alone, afraid that if they walk away, they'll regret it, afraid that maybe, just maybe, this time things will actually change. But here's the harsh reality. A man who makes decisions based on fear is not a man who is in control of his own life. When you let fear dictate your choices, you become easy to manipulate. You become trapped in a cycle where your emotions are used against you. And worst of all, you lose your self-respect. Reclaiming your power. The moment you stop falling for empty words, you take back control of your life. Because a woman who truly values you won't put you in a position where she has to apologize over and over again. She won't make you question her intentions. She won't take you for granted. A woman who respects you will show it through her actions, not just through words spoken in the heat of the moment. So stop hoping, stop rationalizing, stop being afraid, see reality for what it is, accept the truth, no matter how painful, because the moment you do, you set yourself free. And when you finally walk away from empty apologies and broken promises, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed them in the first place. 2. The weak man versus the strong man. In life, there are two types of men, the weak man and the strong man. The difference between them is not in their physical strength, their wealth, or even their intelligence. It's in how they see themselves. It's in the standards they set and whether they enforce them. It's in how much respect they demand, not just from others, but from themselves. The weak man, a prisoner of fear. A weak man fears loss more than he values self-respect. He would rather cling to a toxic relationship than risk being alone. He is afraid to walk away, so he convinces himself that things will change, even when, deep down, he knows they won't. He makes excuses for her. She didn't mean it. She's just going through a hard time. If I give her more love and patience, she'll finally realize my worth. He tells himself whatever he needs to hear to justify staying, but the truth is, he stays because he's scared. Scared of what life will be like without her. Scared of starting over. Scared of admitting that he wasted his time on someone who was never going to change. And because of that fear, he tolerates the intolerable. He allows himself to be disrespected, manipulated, and strung along with false promises. A weak man is not weak because he lacks physical strength. He is weak because he lacks the courage to enforce his boundaries. The strong man. A man of standards, the strong man is different. He does not operate from fear. He does not beg for respect. He does not tolerate repeated betrayal disguised as apologies. A strong man values his time, his energy, and his dignity. He understands that his presence is a privilege, not something to be taken for granted. When a woman crosses the line too many times, when her words no longer align with her actions, he does not waste time arguing or pleading. He walks away, not because he is heartless, not because he doesn't care, but because he knows something that weak men refuse to accept. If you allow disrespect once, you invite it forever. A strong man knows that allowing someone to repeatedly treat him poorly is no different than encouraging it. He understands that people do what they are allowed to do, and because of that, he doesn't just talk about self-respect, he enforces it. Think of the ancient Spartans. They were warriors, but more importantly, they were men of discipline, strength, and unwavering principles. They did not beg, they did not plead. They did not tolerate disrespect from their enemies, nor did they tolerate it from those closest to them. They knew that a man who allows himself to be disrespected is not a man at all. He is a slave to the opinions and actions of others. They lived by a fundamental truth. Respect is not given to those who do not demand it. Weakness is exploited, not rewarded. And once you allow someone to cross a boundary, they will do it again. If a Spartan were disrespected, he would not give a speech about self-worth. He would not engage in endless discussions about change and growth. He would act. The same applies to you. If a woman disrespects you and thinks a few words will fix everything, then she does not take you seriously. She does not see you as a man she needs to respect, because only a weak man tolerates repeated disrespect. The reality of repeated apologies. If you continue accepting apologies without seeing real change, you are teaching her that you don't mean what you say. You are showing her that your standards are just words, that you will tolerate whatever she does, as long as she says the right things afterward. At that point, she no longer even has to put in an effort to manipulate you. She knows exactly what to say to keep you around. She knows you won't leave. She knows she can cross the line and just apologize later. She knows you are too afraid to enforce consequences, and once she knows that, she no longer respects you. The moment you allow a woman to get away with something once, you give her permission to do it again. And if you keep falling for the same empty words, she stops seeing you as a man worth respecting. You are not that man anymore. A weak man would stay. A weak man would hope. A weak man would wait for things to magically change. But you are not that man anymore. You are no longer the man who tolerates broken promises and empty words. You are no longer the man who sacrifices his dignity for the illusion of love. You are the man who stands firm, who enforces his standards, who does not allow anyone, no matter how much he cares about them, to manipulate or disrespect him, because you know your worth. And the moment you start living like a man who values himself, you will attract people who value you too. So when she comes back with another apology, when she tells you it will be different this time, when she expects you to believe words without actions, do not fall for it, because a man who commands respect does not tolerate disrespect. And the moment you truly understand that, you become untouchable. 4. Reclaiming your masculine power. The biggest mistake men make after falling for false apologies is staying stuck in the past. They keep obsessing over her, what she did, what she said, whether she really meant her apology, whether she'll change, or whether she's already looking for someone else. But here's the truth. The more you focus on her, the more power you give away. The moment you shift your focus from her to yourself, everything changes. It's time to stop being the man who tolerates disrespect. It's time to become the man who demands respect simply by the way he carries himself. And that starts with one thing: leveling up. 1. Build your physical strength. A weak body creates a weak mind. A strong body creates a strong mind. There's a reason why the most disciplined men throughout history, warriors, kings, and emperors, prioritized physical strength. Your body is the foundation of your confidence and self-discipline. Hit the gym. Not just to look good, but to train your mind to embrace discomfort. Push your limits. Your ability to endure pain in the gym translates to your ability to endure challenges in life. Move with confidence. When you are physically strong, you naturally carry yourself differently. People notice. Women notice. A man who is physically weak is more likely to tolerate disrespect because he feels weak inside. A man who is strong, he doesn't need to ask for respect. He commands it. 2. Build your wealth and purpose. Men who tolerate disrespect usually have nothing else going on in their lives. When you lack a mission, you make her your mission. When you lack financial independence, you tolerate bad relationships because you feel trapped. But when you are focused on your own success, You simply do not have time for toxic relationships. Start building your wealth. Money is not about material things, it's about freedom. The freedom to walk away, the freedom to live life on your terms. Pursue your purpose. Every great man in history had something bigger than himself to fight for. Find yours, and no woman will ever have the power to break you. Surround yourself with winners. If your friends are undisciplined, weak, and always chasing women who don't respect them, you will become the same. Choose wisely. A man with purpose does not chase, he attracts. And when you are focused on your mission, you stop caring about people who do not respect you because you are too busy becoming great. 3. Develop a strong mindset. Your mind is your greatest weapon. If you do not control it, someone else will. Most men today are mentally weak because they do not sharpen their minds. They allow emotions to rule them instead of mastering their emotions. But a strong man trains his mind just as much as his body. Read philosophy and history. Learn from the great men who came before you. Read about Julius Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, Alexander the Great. Leaders who understood power, respect, and discipline. Develop emotional control. Never let a woman's words or actions dictate your emotions. You are the master of your own state of mind. Eliminate distractions. Cut out anything that makes you weak. Porn, excessive social media, meaningless entertainment. Replace it with knowledge, skill building, and personal growth. A mentally weak man is easily manipulated. A mentally strong man, no one can control him. 4. Learn from the greatest men in history. Julius Caesar, one of the greatest leaders of all time, never let emotions cloud his judgment. He understood one simple truth: power belongs to those who have the strength to take it. The same applies to your life. Respect does not belong to those who wish for it. It belongs to those who demand it through their actions. Women do not respect men who complain about being mistreated. They respect men who set the standard and enforce it. Power does not go to the man who wonders what she is thinking. It goes to the man who does not care and focuses on his own path. The ultimate shift: prioritizing yourself over her. The moment you start prioritizing yourself over her, everything changes. You stop being the man who gets played. You stop being the man who settles for less than he deserves. You stop being the man who waits for someone else to change instead of changing himself. And instead, you become the man who attracts respect, success, and high-value relationships effortlessly because you have built yourself into someone worthy of it. This is how you reclaim your masculine power. And once you do, you will never tolerate disrespect again. 5. The ultimate test: will you rise? Now the final question remains: will you rise or will you stay the same? Every man at some point in his life reaches a critical turning point. It's that moment when he must decide who he will become. It's a moment of decision where the man you are today meets the man you are meant to be tomorrow. And you can only choose one path. This is your moment. For too long, perhaps, you've been manipulated by false apologies, empty promises, and words that hold no weight. You've allowed yourself to be led down a path of disappointment, frustration, and confusion. But now, that moment of truth has arrived, and it's up to you to decide. Will you continue being the man who tolerates less than he deserves, who blindly hopes things will change, only to be disappointed time and again? Or will you step into the version of yourself that has always been waiting within you, the man who refuses to be controlled by others, the man who demands respect and only accepts the best from himself and others? This is the test of your character, the test of your strength, the test of your ability to rise or to stay exactly where you are. The mistake of tolerating disrespect. Many men make the mistake of tolerating disrespect, hoping things will eventually get better. But what happens when you keep forgiving empty apologies? What happens when you give second chances to someone who hasn't earned them? The result is the same. You become trapped in a cycle of emotional manipulation. You start believing that words can change behavior. You start thinking that love and patience can fix everything, but all you're doing is allowing your own self-respect to erode. It's easy to fall for these false apologies, especially when emotions are running high. You convince yourself that this time will be different, that maybe she has learned her lesson. But the truth is, if nothing has changed in her actions, then nothing has changed. The cycle will continue, and so will your suffering. But that's where you have the power to break free. You do not need to continue on this path. You can choose to rise above it, to stop accepting less than you deserve. Choose yourself, because no one else will. So, here's the most important thing you need to understand. No one is going to choose you, respect you, or value you until you start choosing and valuing yourself first. Stop focusing on her. Stop analyzing her every word, every apology, every gesture. Shift your focus back onto yourself. This is where the transformation begins. This is when you stop being the man who gets played by words and start becoming the man who gets respected for the strength of his actions, his decisions, and his boundaries. Choose your own self-respect over fleeting moments of comfort and false hope. Choose your own peace of mind over the chaos of toxic relationships. Choose your own growth over the stagnation of clinging to someone who has not shown you real change. And this is where everything changes. When you choose yourself, you stop being the victim of manipulation. You stop being the man who gets played, and you start becoming the man who commands respect, attention, and admiration simply by the way you carry yourself. A man who demands respect never begs for love. A man who truly respects himself does not chase love. He does not beg for validation. He does not settle for a relationship that does not serve his higher purpose. This is the mark of a strong man, a man who knows his worth and acts accordingly. He does not spend his days hoping that someone else will change to meet his needs. He meets his own needs first and expects others to do the same. He does not waste his time chasing someone who doesn't respect him. Instead, he focuses on the things that truly matter: his purpose in life, his physical and mental health, his career and financial independence, his relationships with people who genuinely value him. A man who respects himself never compromises his values to keep someone around. He understands that respect, true respect, is earned through actions, not words. He knows that a woman will respect him not because of what he says, but because of the way he sets boundaries and holds others accountable for their actions. The power of walking away. One of the most powerful tools in a man's arsenal is his ability to walk away. Many men avoid walking away because they fear being alone or fear that they will never find someone better. But true power lies in your ability to leave. A man who is willing to walk away from anything that disrespects him is the man who never compromises his self-worth. He doesn't stay in toxic situations because he fears the unknown. He doesn't cling to unhealthy relationships because he's afraid of being alone. He walks away because he values himself more than he fears the discomfort of change. And in doing so, he forces others to either respect him or lose him forever. This is a man who commands respect, not by demanding it, but by making it clear that respect is not negotiable. A woman will test your boundaries to see if you truly mean them. She will push to see how much you are willing to tolerate. And if you fold, if you stay, after she continues to disrespect you, then you have shown her something dangerous. Your boundaries mean nothing. But when you hold the line, when you make it clear that you will not tolerate disrespect, that you will not accept less than you deserve, that is when you start to attract real respect. The path to true masculine power. What separates the weak man from the strong man is not his ability to stay in a relationship. It is his ability to walk away when respect is no longer given. A weak man hopes for change. He waits for things to get better, but in the meantime, he sacrifices his self-respect, his standards, and his happiness. A strong man, on the other hand, acts with confidence, strength, and purpose. He knows that he is the one who sets the terms in his life, not anyone else. And once you embrace this mindset, once you decide that your own peace, your own respect, and your own values are worth more than anything or anyone else, you will never fall for the same manipulations again. You are stronger than you think. In this moment, you need to understand something. You are stronger than you think. You are not weak for walking away from someone who does not respect you. You are not weak for setting high standards and expecting others to meet them. You are not weak for demanding consistent actions, not just empty words. You are stronger than you have been led to believe, because strength is not about how many times you stay. It's about knowing when to leave. You are more valuable than you have allowed yourself to believe. The moment you reclaim your worth, you stop tolerating anything less than respect and equality in your relationships. So ask yourself, will you rise or will you stay the same? Will you rise to become the man who commands respect from all aspects of his life, his relationships, his work, his health, and his self-worth? Or will you continue to fall into the trap of empty apologies and false hope? This is your moment, the moment that will define who you are. Will you rise? If you found value in this message, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe.